So, Shedio update number 4, starting with more bad news. Got back from Spain to realise that the sheeting hadn't done its job either. The felting didn't do its job, the sheeting didn't do its job. And so I had to put a drip angle on the end and one on the front as well to stop the rain getting in and to stop it standing on the back edge, soaking the drip ledge. So that went in and got sorted eventually, and it was time for the insulation. 100mm in the roof, 50mm in... Well, actually, I did double in the walls. It was intentionally going to be 50mm there. Hard enough to put 2 layers in. The more the merrier. And an absolute pig to work with. Why I didn't have a mask and goggles on here is beyond me. Eventually got wise to that, got covered up. Just cutting it, just dusty. A lot better using the table saw outside when the weather was beneficial too, rather than using that circular saw on the floor indoors. Help me Lord. So yeah, but you know, it has to be done. That took quite a while to do that. As you can see, it's a faff. But it'll be beneficial in the end, thermally, economically. So once I'd finished the insulation, it was onto the glass bricks on the south-facing wall. I had to finish off all the little perches for the actual bricks themselves. Once they was all in place, I drew round them, put the front board on, drew round them, and cut out, and then did the same for the inside board as well. And then took that off again, obviously, before I put the insulation in. So this is me just drawing around the actual bricks, marking the front. There's a brick in situ, and so then it was a case of transferring that onto the board and cutting out the relevant squares with a jigsaw, which seems to be the best way of going about it. I was going to use a router, but this is actually going to be covered in cladding, so you're not really going to see these edges so much anyway. From the outside and the inside, I'm not, no biggie. But I was really pleased with how this turned out. This was a last minute. The glass bricks was a kind of last minute idea. Well, halfway through the build, in fact. There's the 2 end bricks going in. The last 2 squares, for some reason I'd forgotten to mark them in my haste for the outside board. And then once that had gone in and it could stay in place, I've got carried away with the jigsaw footage. In with the spade bit to make a corner, and then finishing off with the blade. And there it is. It does look fantastic. I'm ever so pleased with it. And we'll just let a bit more light in. Obviously, it's being south facing. It stops it being a super dingy. Well, it won't be that dingy, but the more light, the better, to be honest. There you go. You can see how dusty it is. Extractor fan would have been nice. So this is the inside board. Done the outside board. This was the inside one. I thought I might as well do this one while I could still get at it and draw around the bricks. Just a bit more accurate than actually doing measurements, I've found. I always like to, there we are, offer it up. In she goes. So once the glass bricks were finished, I'll insulate that wall. Must be the last thing I do. There we are, bricks in situ. It was time to take on the punch through. Knocking through from the old to the new. You can see the beveled wall that had to go. A bit of clearage in the desk where the old desk and speakers were. Clearing that in preparation for getting that wall out. And I thought I was going to have to saw through the wall, but it was that knack I'd actually kind of managed to do most of it by hand. I did start a little bit of sawing, but it was just rotten. So yeah, I pulled the shiplap away and the plasterboard pretty much using mandrolic power. Bruce Lee. Yeah, I should have videoed it really instead of time-lapsing it, but never mind, at least it's documented. Really, really chuffed with the amount of space that I've got now. It's immense. In fact, it was 14 by 8, the old space, and this new build is 12 by 8, so it's virtually doubled, which is superb. So that was yesterday. I managed to punch through and get all that done. Today will be... oh yeah, and the internal boards turned up yesterday as well. There it is. Looking from the Shedio out, looking from out into the Shedio there. And my last bits of OSB, this is the internal sheeting that I'll be finishing the walls off with. That turned up yesterday, so that can start going in. Finishing the insulation on the last wall and then the floor down. Job's a good one. Onwards and upwards, as they say.